Are you tired of watching your dreams slip further away while you feel stuck in the same cycle? Have you ever wondered why, despite your hard work, things don't seem to change? The truth is, you're making a mistake, and it's quietly destroying your life. This isn't just a small issue, it's a critical error that keeps you trapped in frustration, self-doubt, and regret. Today, we're going to dive into what this mistake is, and more importantly, how you can stop making it for good. You might not even realize it, but the key to unlocking the life you desire is already within your grasp. It starts with one powerful decision, one shift in mindset, and one commitment to stop letting this mistake control your destiny. Stick with me, because this isn't just about empty motivation. This is about creating real, lasting change. It's time to take back control and start building the life you've always imagined. Are you ready to stop making this mistake and unlock your true potential? Let's begin. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you try, things don't change? What if the problem isn't external, but something you're doing or not doing? Let me tell you something. The mistake that's holding you back is something most people don't even realize they're making. It's something so subtle it creeps into your life and keeps you stuck without you even noticing. The mistake is this: waiting for external circumstances to change before you take action. You think, once I get that promotion, or once I get a little more money, or once things settle down, I'll finally make that change. But here's the reality: nothing will change until you do. The moment you stop waiting for the world to align and take full responsibility for your actions, that's when everything changes. You are the catalyst for your own success. Look at your daily life. Are you waiting for the perfect moment? Are you thinking that the world will somehow get better and then you'll act? That's a lie. The power to change is already in your hands, but it starts with realizing the mistake that's been holding you back all along. What would happen if you took 100% responsibility for everything in your life? Could you finally break free from excuses and blaming others? You might think it sounds tough, but it's the only way to break free from the cycle of inaction and regret. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are standing in quicksand. Every time you blame someone or something outside of yourself for where you are in life, you sink deeper. The more you point fingers, the further you get stuck. Blame doesn't just keep you stuck, it keeps you powerless. But if you choose to take full responsibility for everything in your life, even the things that went wrong, you take back your power. You're no longer a victim of circumstance. You become the driver of your own destiny. The moment you stop blaming others is the moment you start freeing yourself. You might not have control over everything, but you always have control over how you respond. It's time to stop sinking and start standing tall by owning every part of your journey. How long are you going to let past events define your future? Are you ready to finally stop giving away your power? The longer you keep blaming others for your situation, the longer you stay stuck. But when you own your choices, you own your future. Think about the times in your life when you've shifted blame. How many opportunities have you missed because you were waiting for someone else to change, or you were holding on to resentment? By blaming, you hand over your power. It's time to take it back. If you want to break free, you need to stop shifting blame and start taking ownership of your decisions. Do you want to keep staying stuck, or are you ready to take full control and own your choices? When you take full ownership, you stop giving away your power. You stop waiting for things to change and start making change happen. When you make that shift, everything changes. You become empowered. Your decisions no longer control you. They drive you forward. What are the excuses you've been holding on to for far too long? What are they really costing you? Excuses are like chains, weighing you down, keeping you locked in place. Every time you make an excuse, you reinforce your own limitations. And the worst part, excuses sound so convincing. I'm too busy, I don't have enough money, or it's just not the right time. These are justifications for staying stuck. But let me tell you something. Every excuse you make is another step away from the life you want. It's a lie that convinces you that you're not capable, that you're not ready, that now is not the time, but that's not the truth. Excuses are self-sabotage, plain and simple. They hold you back from taking action. It's time to break those chains and let go of the justifications that are keeping you from your potential. Recognize your excuses for what they are and start eliminating them. The power to break free from this is in your hands, and it starts with taking responsibility for your actions. What would your life look like if you started taking full responsibility for where you are right now? Are you ready to step up? Taking full ownership of your life is not just a mindset shift, it's a game changer. When you start taking control of your decisions and actions, everything starts falling into place. Think of someone you admire. Maybe they've gone through struggles, but they took ownership and turned their life around. They didn't wait for the perfect moment or for someone else to solve their problems. They took control and made it happen. And so can you. When you start owning your life, you stop being a passive observer and you become an active participant in your success. Whether it's in your personal life or your career, ownership leads to better decision making. You start making choices that align with your values and your goals. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being responsible. When you own your life, nothing can hold you back. What's scarier, taking action or staying stuck in your comfort zone forever? The real obstacles to your progress are internal. the fear and doubt that hold you in place. You might be scared of failing, of not being good enough, of what others might think. But here's the truth, those fears aren't the problem. The problem is letting them stop you. Fear is like a prison. It keeps you confined, telling you that the world is too risky and you're not strong enough. But guess what? That fear is a lie. The real risk is staying in that cage. The only way to break free is to take action, even if it scares you. The next time fear comes knocking, don't hide. Step forward, face it head on, and take that first step. The only thing holding you back is your own mind. You have the power to face your fears and break free. It's time to stop letting fear control your future. How often do you feel like giving up because you don't see immediate results? Are you ready to stay committed and build momentum, no matter what? The key to success isn't about seeing instant results. It's about keeping at it. Building momentum is like pushing a snowball down a hill. At first, it's small and slow, but the more you push, the bigger it gets, and the faster it moves. Your progress might not seem huge at first, but if you stay consistent, that small effort compounds into something massive. Small steps, repeated daily, are what build momentum. Don't get discouraged if you don't see immediate changes. Keep pushing forward. Trust that the little things you do today will build into something powerful tomorrow. Momentum is created through consistent action. If you're willing to keep going, no matter how small the steps, you'll eventually reach the top. How many times have you told yourself you'll start tomorrow, only to have it never happen? What's stopping you from taking action right now? The truth is, waiting for the perfect moment is the mistake that's keeping you stuck. There's never going to be a perfect time to start. There will always be obstacles, challenges, and uncertainties. But let me tell you something. Action is the key to overcoming all of that. If you wait for everything to align, you'll never start. The best time to act is now. Look at someone who's achieved something great. They didn't wait for the stars to align. They took action, even when they didn't have all the answers. The same can be true for you. You don't need to have everything figured out to begin. Start with one small action today and build from there. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The only thing that matters is the decision to start. Don't wait, act now. Your future starts right now. The question is, will you continue making the same mistake, or will you step up and take control? The decision is yours. Today is the day to stop waiting, to stop making excuses, and to start owning your future. You have the power to change your life, but it starts with one thing: taking full responsibility. No more blame, no more fear, no more waiting. The time to act is now. The life you want is waiting for you, but it's only going to come when you take control. Will you take that step today? The choice is yours. Are you tired of feeling like life is happening to you, with no control over where you're headed? What if I told you that the real reason you're stuck, frustrated, overwhelmed, and uncertain isn't because of outside forces? It's because you're not fully taking responsibility for your life. The moment you stop pointing fingers at others or waiting for the perfect moment to take action, you gain the power to change everything. This isn't about motivation for the sake of motivation. This is about taking back your life, your decisions, and your future. Today I'm going to show you exactly why this mistake is destroying your potential, and how, by making one powerful shift, you can unlock the life you've always dreamed of. Stick with me, because what we're about to dive into will change everything for you. It's time to take control of the wheel of your life. Stop being tossed around by circumstances and start steering towards your success. Let's get started. Have you ever looked around and thought, why am I not where I want to be? You work hard, you hustle, but somehow things never quite seem to change. Let me tell you something. There's a mistake you're making that's holding you back, and it's one you might not even realize. The mistake is simple. You're not fully taking responsibility for your life. Instead of owning where you are right now, you're waiting for the world to shift around you. You're blaming external factors, people, or situations for your circumstances. But what if I told you that the key to unlocking everything you want lies in one simple shift: taking full responsibility for your choices, your actions, and your life? When was the last time you blamed someone else for where you are in life? Maybe it was a difficult childhood, a bad boss, a lack of resources, or just bad luck. We've all been there, right? It's easy to point fingers when things aren't going the way we want. But here's the truth: blaming others for where you are in life is a trap. The more you shift the blame, the more you give up your power. The moment you stop blaming others and start taking responsibility, everything changes. Suddenly you're in control. You get to decide how you respond, what actions you take, and where you go next. And here's the thing: it doesn't matter how old you are or what's happened in your past. The moment you step into responsibility, you open the door to limitless possibilities. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that you are the creator of your life. It doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong, but it does mean that you refuse to play the victim anymore. You stop waiting for someone to fix it. you stop making excuses for why you can't change, and you start taking action, even if that means taking small steps at first. When you take full responsibility, you break free from the cycle of frustration and helplessness. You take the reins of your life and start moving toward your goals. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably asking yourself, but what if it's not my fault? What if life just dealt me a bad hand? Here's the hard truth. Life isn't fair, but that doesn't mean you have to stay stuck. If you keep shifting the blame, you give up your power to change. It's like handing someone else the keys to your car and saying you drive. But what happens when you stop blaming others and take those keys back? You take control of the wheel, and now you're in charge of where you're going. You might be thinking it's not that easy, and you're right, it's not easy, but it's simple. The moment you take responsibility, you start seeing things differently. You start recognizing that you have a choice. You don't have to stay stuck in the same cycle. You don't have to let your past define your future. You get to choose what happens next, and that's powerful. When you take responsibility for your decisions, your actions, and even your mistakes, you open the door to growth. Every time you take responsibility, you learn, you improve, and you become stronger. Here's the real power of responsibility. When you take ownership, you stop waiting for someone to give you permission to change. You stop waiting for the perfect time or the perfect conditions. You take action right now, regardless of how uncertain or uncomfortable it may feel. This is how you build momentum. This is how you create real lasting change in your life. So how do you make this shift? How do you stop blaming others and start taking full responsibility for your life? It starts with small steps. Every day, make a conscious decision to take ownership of your actions. When something goes wrong, instead of blaming someone else, ask yourself, what part did I play in this? What could I have done differently? This doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means learning and growing. It's about recognizing that you always have the power to change. If you want to change your life, it starts with one simple decision. Take full responsibility for where you are right now. Stop waiting for the world to change. Stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems. You have the power to create the life you want, and it starts with you. Every single day, take ownership of your choices, your actions, and your future. It's time to stop making excuses and start making progress. Are you ready to take responsibility for your life? Because the moment you do, everything changes. Are you tired of feeling like everything around you is out of your control? Do you often find yourself asking why things never seem to go your way despite your efforts? What if I told you the key to changing everything lies in one simple but powerful shift? It's time to stop blaming external circumstances, people, or past events. Today, we'll explore the incredible power of personal ownership, the ability to take full responsibility for your life, your choices, and your outcomes. The truth is, the moment you stop looking outside yourself for reasons why things aren't working, and instead take ownership of your actions, everything begins to change. This isn't just about motivation, it's about claiming control over your future. Are you ready to stop feeling stuck and start creating the life you want? The choice is yours, and the power to transform your life is in your hands. Stick with me, and we'll unlock the door to real and lasting change. Let me tell you something important. There's a huge difference between ownership and blame. When you blame others, you're surrendering your power. You're saying, it's not my fault, it's someone else's fault. But here's the truth. Blame doesn't fix anything. It just keeps you stuck. Ownership, on the other hand, is empowering. When you take responsibility for your actions and decisions, you unlock your potential. Ownership means you no longer point fingers at the world, at people, or at your circumstances. You look inward and you say, I am in control. Blame is like a weight that drags you down, preventing you from moving forward. It's like shackling yourself to the past instead of taking steps into the future. Ownership, however, is the key that unlocks the chains holding you back. It's not about being perfect, but about acknowledging that you have the power to change, to learn, and to grow. When you shift from blame to ownership, everything shifts. The next time something doesn't go the way you want, stop and ask yourself, what part did I play in this? How can I change my approach moving forward? It's time to stop being a passenger in your own life. Get in the driver's seat and take control. Let's look at some examples of people who embraced personal ownership and changed their lives. Think of Oprah Winfrey, a woman who grew up in poverty and faced numerous challenges. She didn't stay in a victim mentality, blaming her past for her future. She took ownership of her story. She realized that no matter what happened to her, she could choose how she responded. Instead of letting her circumstances define her, she used them as stepping stones. You see, life is like a book. You are the author. You can choose how the story unfolds. If Oprah can rise above adversity by taking ownership, why can't you? The struggles and setbacks you face don't have to define you. They can fuel you. They can become the very foundation of your success story. The same is true for you. Your situation doesn't determine your future. Your response to it does. Ask yourself, what's one area of your life where you could take full ownership today? How could that shift everything for you? You've heard it before. You can either be a victim of your circumstances or the creator of your own reality. It's time to stop waiting for someone else to change your life. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. You are the hero of your own story. You're not a passenger on the train of life. You're the conductor. You steer your journey wherever you choose. The moment you adopt the mindset of ownership, you shift from a victim mentality to one of empowerment. You stop waiting for things to get better and start making things better. You stop blaming and start acting. Here's what you need to do. Begin with small steps. Start making decisions based on what you want, not based on what others expect from you. Use positive affirmations. Make a list of things you want to take responsibility for. Ask yourself, what would it look like if I owned this situation completely? When you start thinking this way, everything begins to change. What if everything you've been waiting for is just on the other side of taking full accountability for your choices? Accountability isn't about being perfect. It's about being real with yourself. It's about acknowledging that every choice you make has a consequence. Whether good or bad, you are responsible for your own decisions. Think of accountability like a mirror. At first, it may be uncomfortable, but when you look into it, you see the truth. You see where you are right now, and you see where you need to go. It forces you to face your actions and step up. When you truly embrace accountability, you stop making excuses. You stop pretending that things outside your control are holding you back. Accountability is what drives progress. It forces you to move forward, to hold yourself accountable. Set measurable goals, track your progress. Surround yourself with people who will hold you to your word. Because if you don't hold yourself accountable, no one else will. We all make excuses. But let me tell you something, excuses are the enemy of growth. Every time you make an excuse, you delay your success. You justify why you can't move forward. But here's the thing, if you keep making excuses, you will never get where you want to go. Excuses are like roadblocks on the path to your success. If you don't remove them, you'll never reach your destination. Ask yourself, what's keeping me from taking responsibility? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it a lack of confidence? Once you identify the excuses you've been using, it's time to eliminate them. Replace them with action. Instead of saying I can't, say I will. You have everything you need to succeed. It's not about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about deciding that you will move forward no matter what. Taking responsibility can be intimidating. The fear of failure, of making mistakes, can stop us from stepping up. But here's the thing, fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal. It's telling you that you're on the edge of something new, something important. Think of fear like fog. It's thick and disorienting at first, but as soon as you step through it, the path ahead becomes clear. When you face your fear of responsibility, you see what's on the other side. You see the freedom, the confidence, the power to shape your own life. Take small steps toward responsibility. Start with something simple. Commit to owning a small decision today. Then build on that. The more you face your fear, the more you'll realize that you are capable. You are in control. Ownership is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Every day you have to wake up and choose to take responsibility for your life. Ownership is like watering a plant. You can't just do it once and expect it to thrive. You have to nurture it every day. Ask yourself, how committed am I to taking ownership today? The answer to that question will determine the direction of your life. Each day is an opportunity to step into your personal power. Each day is a chance to make a choice that moves you closer to your goals. Start small. Write down your intentions for the day. Hold yourself accountable for the actions you take. You have the power to shape your future. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is right now. Take responsibility today and watch how your life transforms. Are you tired of standing still waiting for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances? The truth is, they don't exist. If you want to make real progress, you have to stop making excuses. We all have them. I'm too busy. I'm not good enough, or maybe tomorrow. But let me tell you something. Excuses are the silent killers of your dreams. The more you let them control you, the further you drift from your goals. It's time to face the reality. Life won't wait for you to be ready. Every day you waste making excuses is a day you'll never get back. Today we're going to break down how excuses are holding you back, and more importantly, how to stop them from running your life. This isn't about motivation alone. It's about a shift in your mindset that leads to real lasting change. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear could be the wake-up call you need to step into your full potential. Are you ready to stop making excuses and start making progress? Let's do this. Excuses are often the quiet, hidden barrier between where you are and where you want to be. We all make them, but have you ever stopped to ask why? The truth is, excuses come from a place of fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of the unknown. They're like a defense mechanism designed to protect you from the feeling of being inadequate, from the risk of failure. But here's the problem. They don't protect you at all. They trap you. You hide behind them because they feel safe, but they hold you back from what you're truly capable of. Excuses are like a security blanket. It feels good to wrap yourself up in them, but they only prevent you from stepping out into the real world. When you make an excuse, you're avoiding discomfort, and in doing so, you're avoiding growth. It's time to ask yourself, why are you choosing comfort over progress? Why is it so easy to settle for excuses when you know deep down that you can do more? Think about every time you've made an excuse in your life. What's the impact? What's the cost? I'll tell you, the cost is your potential. Every excuse you make is like another brick in a wall. At first it seems harmless. You tell yourself that one excuse doesn't matter, but over time those excuses pile up, and suddenly there's a wall between you and your dreams. That wall keeps you stuck. It keeps you from taking risks. It keeps you from pushing forward. What if the only thing standing between you and your success is that wall you've built out of your own excuses? Every time you choose an excuse over action, you're adding another brick. The longer you let that wall grow, the harder it becomes to break through. But here's the truth, it's not permanent. The wall isn't solid, it's just made of your own choices. Let's take it down, one excuse at a time. The path to your goals is just on the other side. Are you ready to break through? Now let's talk about the real cost of making excuses. We often think that delaying our dreams doesn't have consequences. We think we're just waiting for the right moment. But here's the harsh reality. Every time you put off your goals, you're losing precious time. Time is the one thing you can't get back. And with every excuse, you're paying a tax on your future. Think about it. How much time have you already lost to excuses? How much longer are you willing to wait for the perfect moment to act? Excuses are like a thief stealing your time. They rob you of opportunities, of progress, and of the success you're capable of. Waiting for everything to be right is an illusion. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The best time to take action is now. If you continue to make excuses, you'll wake up one day and realize that the years have passed you by. Don't let that happen. The cost of waiting is far greater than the cost of taking imperfect action. Time won't wait for you. Start now. Every time you make an excuse, you are slowly but surely sabotaging your own progress. Excuses are a subtle form of self-doubt. They convince you that you're not good enough, not ready, not capable of reaching your goals. But let me tell you this, that's a lie. You are more than capable. Every excuse you make is a small act of self-sabotage. It tells you that you can't, that you're not worthy of success. It poisons your confidence, little by little, until you start believing it. Excuses are like poison in your mind. They may seem harmless at first, but over time they erode your belief in yourself. They hold you back from doing what you know you can do. It's time to face the truth. Excuses are not just a bad habit, they're a form of self-destruction. Stop undermining yourself. Start believing in your potential, and take action, even when it feels uncomfortable. The hardest part of breaking free from excuses is facing the truth. We all want to tell ourselves that things will get better, that we'll get started tomorrow, or that we just need one more excuse to make us feel better. But here's the brutal truth. Excuses won't bring change. They'll only keep you stuck. Living with excuses is like driving with your brakes on. You're moving, but you're not going anywhere fast. You're wasting time. You're limiting yourself. The only way to get real change is to stop lying to yourself. It's time to get real about what's holding you back. Stop pretending that your excuses are valid reasons. They're not. They're just comfortable lies you tell yourself to avoid facing the truth. Now is the time to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for your actions. The longer you wait, the further you'll drift from your dreams. It's time to stop holding yourself back. The key to overcoming excuses is simple: take action. Break them down one by one. Excuses may feel like a wall, but they're not unbreakable. Every time you take action, you break a link in that chain that's holding you back. It's not about being perfect, it's about making progress. Start small. Identify your excuses, and instead of dwelling on them, ask yourself, what's the next step I can take? Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you want. Overcoming excuses is like breaking chains. Each small action you take is another link broken, freeing you to move forward. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take action now. Start by choosing one small goal you've been putting off and make it happen today. Don't wait. Don't make another excuse. Take that first step and watch the rest follow. Are you stuck in the endless cycle of waiting for the perfect moment to make a move? I get it. The fear of failure, the pressure to get everything right, the desire for things to align perfectly. It's easy to get trapped in this mindset, but let me tell you the truth. Perfection doesn't exist. If you keep waiting for everything to be perfect, you're never going to move forward. It's action, not perfection, that creates change. Every time you delay, you're only pushing your dreams further out of reach. Today, we're going to break down why action is the only thing that will lead to real progress. It's not about being flawless. It's about moving, learning, and improving as you go. This is your moment. No more waiting. Let's dive into how taking bold, imperfect action can lead you to the results you've been chasing. Stick around, because today could be the day you finally start moving toward your dream life. How much longer are you going to wait for the perfect moment to take action? What if that moment never comes? Let me tell you something, you'll be waiting forever. Perfection is a trap, an illusion that keeps you stuck in the exact spot you are right now. We've all fallen into the same trap. The idea that things have to be perfectly lined up before you can take that first step. But the truth is, waiting for everything to align is just an excuse. It's an excuse that will keep you from ever getting started. You'll wait for things to be just right. Perfect timing, perfect conditions, and what you won't realize is that all the while you're missing out on progress. Waiting for perfection is like waiting for the perfect wave to ride. If you don't paddle out, you'll never catch it. You'll never know what it feels like to actually be moving toward your goal. So here's the challenge: stop waiting, start imperfectly. Embrace the messiness of progress. Every mistake, every misstep, it all leads to the next step in the right direction. Perfection isn't what you need action. So take it. So what happens when you finally take that first step? How does it feel to finally make a move after all the waiting? It feels incredible. It's like lighting a match. That tiny spark, that first moment of movement ignites something inside you. You can't predict how big that spark will get, but trust me, it has the potential to light up a fire that grows bigger than you ever imagined. Movement is power. Every step, no matter how small, builds momentum. And once that momentum kicks in, it's like you've unlocked a force that's almost unstoppable. It's not about the grand plans or the perfect strategies. It's about the simple act of taking that first step. And once you've taken one, you're in motion. One small action leads to the next, and before you know it, you've moved so far forward you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. So don't think about the entire journey. Just take that first step. That's all you need to create change. Let's talk about the big names, the people who didn't wait for the perfect conditions. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. They didn't sit around waiting for everything to be perfect. They acted. And those actions, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant at the time, changed the world. Think about Steve Jobs. What if he'd waited for the perfect version of the iPhone? What if he'd waited for the right time to launch? We might still be waiting for that technology, but he didn't. He took action. He built the iPhone, and through that bold step, he changed an entire industry. Success isn't about waiting for everything to be perfect. Success is about getting started, making mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward. Every revolutionary company, every breakthrough idea started with a simple, imperfect step. Success is like a tree. If you don't plant the seed, it will never grow. You can't wait for the tree to grow on its own. You've got to plant it, water it, and nurture it day by day. Action is the first step to your own success. So what are you losing by waiting? How many opportunities have passed you by because you were waiting for everything to be perfect? Every moment you spend waiting is a moment you'll never get back. Inaction is a slow leak in a tire. At first you may not notice it, but over time, that leak will stop you from moving forward altogether. Every time you put off taking action, you're giving away something that is impossible to get back. Time, once it's gone, is gone. You can't buy it, you can't save it, and you can't get it back. You might not see it today, but every moment you waste waiting for perfection is a lost opportunity, a missed chance to make progress. The more you wait, the further your dreams slip away. So take a look at what you're losing by standing still. Take action today. What's really holding you back? What are you afraid of? Fear is a powerful force. It can stop you in your tracks, keep you paralyzed in a state of inaction. But here's the thing, fear doesn't have to control you. Fear is like a shadow. It may seem big, intimidating, and powerful, but when you face it head on, it shrinks. Fear thrives in the unknown, in the what-ifs and the maybes. But once you take that first step, you realize that fear isn't the monster it seemed. It's just a shadow that shrinks the moment you face it. Don't let fear keep you waiting. The only way to overcome it is to push through it, to take that first step, even if it's uncomfortable. The fear won't disappear, but your confidence in overcoming it will grow stronger with every action you take. Fear only wins if you let it. The perfect moment will never come. If you wait for everything to be just right, you'll never start. So I'm asking you, are you ready to take that first step, even if it's imperfect? That first step is all it takes to begin the journey. Every journey starts with a single step. You can't cross the finish line if you never start the race. Stop waiting. Stop thinking you need everything to be perfect. Start moving now. Write down your goal. Make that call. Take that first action. Whatever it is, start today. This is your moment. You have everything you need inside of you to begin, right now. So stop waiting. Take action. Your future is waiting for you to make the move. Are you tired of letting fear hold you back from living the life you deserve? The fear of failing, of making mistakes, of judgment. It's keeping you stuck. But here's the truth. Fear isn't your enemy. It's your greatest opportunity for growth. If you continue to let fear control your decisions, you're going to miss out on everything you're capable of achieving. Today we're diving deep into how fear and self-doubt have been holding you back and how you can finally break free. This isn't about pretending fear doesn't exist. It's about learning how to face it head on. Use it to fuel your growth, and ultimately transform it into your greatest strength. Stick with me, because in this session you'll learn how to conquer the fear that's been holding you back, step into the unknown, and take the first steps toward the life you've always dreamed of. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to break through. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the fear you're willing to face. Fear is natural. It's an instinct we all experience, but for many it's the very thing that keeps them from moving forward. Fear keeps you from speaking up, from taking risks, from going after the things that matter most. You've probably felt it before, when that little voice in your head tells you not to try because you might fail, or when the idea of judgment paralyzes you, making you second-guess every move. But here's what I want you to understand. Fear is not the problem. It's how you respond to fear that determines your success. If you allow fear to rule you, it becomes a wall. It stops you from growing, from reaching your potential, from taking the actions that will push you forward. Fear is like a wall blocking your path. The only way to get past it is to walk right through it. It's not as strong as you think. It may seem intimidating, but it's nothing more than an illusion, a roadblock in your mind. When you continue to let fear control you, you're choosing comfort over growth. You're choosing safety over opportunity. The truth is, the more you stay stuck in your fear, the more you allow yourself to miss out. You miss out on the chance to change, to take risks, to succeed. If you've been letting fear keep you in the same place, you've already paid the price. How much longer are you going to wait before taking that step? The longer you stay stuck, the longer you'll be in the same place, watching life pass you by. Staying stuck because of fear is like being a tree with deep roots. It's comfortable, but you'll never grow beyond that same spot. Fear keeps you in the same place, repeating the same patterns, stuck in your comfort zone. The real cost of fear is your potential. It's your chance to become something greater. It's your ability to move forward. The question you need to ask yourself is, how much longer am I going to let this fear control my life? Think about those who have achieved greatness. Do you think they never felt fear? Do you think J.K. Rowling didn't feel afraid when she faced rejection after rejection? What if she had given up? What if she had let the fear of failure control her? Would we have the books we love today? Fear doesn't have to stop you. It can push you forward. These people didn't let fear keep them down. They used it as a driving force. They turned their doubt into strength. Overcoming fear is like sharpening a blade. The more you confront it, the sharper and stronger you become. When you face your fears, you don't just overcome them, you transform them into your advantage. And that's what you have to do. You can take that fear, that self-doubt, and turn it into fuel for your ambition. When you shift your mindset and start seeing fear as a tool, not a roadblock, it can push you to do things you never thought possible. It's time for you to confront your fear. That's the only way you're going to break free. The first step is always the hardest. It's always the scariest, but it's also the most powerful. It's not about making everything perfect or having the plan all figured out. It's about taking that first step, no matter how small. What's more frightening, facing your fear or staying stuck forever because you let it control you? Fear is like a shadow. It's always there, but it's only as big as you allow it to be. The moment you step into the light, it shrinks. Start by taking that first step, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. The only way to conquer fear is to face it head on. Break it down into manageable tasks. Don't try to change everything at once. Take small actions that challenge you, step by step. Now here's the most powerful thing you can do with fear. Transform it into fuel. Fear doesn't have to be a roadblock. It can be the engine that drives you forward. When you see fear as excitement instead of dread, you'll realize that it's not there to hold you back. It's there to push you further, to make you stronger. Fear is like a car's engine. It can either hold you back or power you forward. It all depends on how you use it. When you change your perspective on fear, you start to see it as a motivator rather than a hindrance. Every time you face your fear, you gain strength. Every time you take action, even when you're scared, you build confidence. That's how growth happens. Fear isn't the enemy. It's the fuel you need to move faster, higher, stronger. The key to breaking free from fear is simple. Take action. Stop thinking about it. Stop planning every little detail. Just start. It's not about waiting for the perfect time. It's about making the time perfect with your actions. How much longer will you let fear hold you back? Are you ready to take action and change your life? Taking action is like opening a door. You'll never know what's on the other side if you don't take the first step to turn the knob. Today is the day you stop waiting. Today is the day you stop allowing fear to control you. Take that first step, no matter how small. Write down your goal. Make that phone call. Take that risk. Start moving. Because once you do, fear will no longer have control over you. It will be your greatest ally, pushing you forward every step of the way.